The answer to 1984 is 1776.
Right now, we want to play that clip from The View, Alex Jones, on Just This Morning, February 28th, only a few minutes ago, and we're going to play that right now and then break it down for you.
Of an interview that Charlie Sheen did with ABC correspondent Amanda Canning, where he passionately defends his lifestyle of drug use and partying. But it all started with a radio show rant last Thursday that prompted CBS to cancel the rest of the season of his hit sitcom. And we just want to share a little bit of the clip, and then you'll meet the man he was talking to. Take a look.
Chaim Levine, yeah, that's Chuck's real name, mistook this rock star for his own selfish exit strategy, bro. Check it, Alex. I embarrassed him in front of his children and the world by healing at a pace that his unevolved mind cannot process. Okay, last I checked, Chaim, I've spent, I think, close to the last decade, I don't know, effortlessly and magically converting your tin cans into pure gold.
Well, joining now is the radio show host and close friend of Charlie Sheen, the man he was talking to, Alex Jones. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. If I could just say one thing, I've known Charlie for about 6.5 years. He's never drunk alcohol, used drugs in front of me. He's been completely clean for almost a decade until about 7 months ago. Now he's come off the drugs and the alcohol, which is almost like, being off your meds. It has the same effect. So he's supercharged. He's angry. He's focused. And I know that when they interviewed him at his house, because I talked to him, they interviewed him for about 2 hours. And that's a little kind of joke that's out of context. He's tired of being judged and him being held up as the ultimate demon in this world. He didn't kill 1 million people in Iraq. He wasn't involved with the takedown of Building 7 here in New York. And he thinks there's bigger devils out there than himself. And Chuck Lorre's put out a whole bunch of these cue cards while having management tell him a month ago, if you speak out against 4 episodes being cut, we're going to fire you. Then he starts putting out all of these. Chuck Lorre. He starts putting out. The producer. He starts putting out vanity cards, not just on 2.5 Men, but on other shows, saying Charlie Sheen is dead inside and soulless. You didn't show the worst one there, and so Charlie's told, we're tying your hands. Now we're going to beat you up for whatever contract negotiations.
Let me ask you. So the question that I have is, so you're saying Chuck Lorre started this?
With the vanity card.
With the vanity
And up front had management, according to Charlie, and I've been there when he's on the phone with his management or his manager comes over.
You're talking too fast for me, baby. Slow down.
Well, I know we don't have a lot of time. I'm getting on record.
Right.
They told him, before he said a word, they said, we're doing this, and if you criticize it, you're going to be fired. And he said, why are you telling me this? I'm going through a hard time right now. But he didn't understand it then. I think they're trying to make him quit or something, so they have to pay out his contract or the $100 million in syndication. I think there's some shenanigans going on here. And then they start putting these things out. Then they start putting these vanity cards out, trying to prod him and push him.
People what vanity cards are. I don't think people know.
Okay, most shows have a logo at the end, like a little dog or the MGM lion. Chuck Lorre has these big write-ups at the end of his show. And imagine, at the end of the show with Charlie Sheen and other CBS shows.
This is on air.
This is on air, saying this man is soulless. This man is dead inside.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, because from that clip that we saw, a lot of people would ascertain, or assume that Charlie was on drugs again. You say he wasn't. Do you think
he's taking blood tests?
Do you think he's...
I've been at his house when they come in, take the blood, take the urine.
I take your word.
I was there 2 weeks ago.
I hear you. Do you think he's manic depressive? I mean, as a friend, do you say, okay, this is something else? You guys are missing the boat. It's not the drugs. He's actually suffering from manic depressive disorder.
Let's just remember, Charlie's been a star. Charlie's been a star for 30 years, and all people know about is these episodes where he explodes. The Charlie Sheen I know is a compassionate guy who's really smart.
The episodes where he explodes. I mean, he was saying, this is the best thing that happened to the people who were with me. They're never going to regret it. They had the best time. This is on drugs, tearing up rooms in hotels. What about that explosion?
I know this. I don't use illegal drugs, but when I quit smoking, I've had a long battle with that. I feel horrible for a week, and about a week later, my wife says, please, just go back to smoking sometimes because I get so manic. And I think we have a similar physiology. A lot of people have that physiology.
He was not giving it up at that point. He was on the drugs and booze.
Oh, you're talking about the last few months.
Do you think there's something underlying here that people are missing as a friend?
I just think that he's somebody going through a hard time who got clean, and that's why I went out to California to help him. And I know that it's wrong for them to be prodding him, yes, and demonizing him and trying to make him blow up. That's actually what I believe is going on here. They should all just shake hands, bury the hatchet, come together for the crew of 2.5 Men. I want try to support Charlie, but also Chuck Lorre, everybody else, but understand what happened.
Okay. Okay. So you're worried about it.
But Charlie's tired of being held up like the devil. We got the TSA putting their hand down people's pants. Infowars.com covers it all. We've got the banks bankrupting the U.S.
Wait. Let's stick with Charlie, because that's way too much for me.
Charlie is mad because he's held up as all the problems. He didn't steal $23.7 trillion like the Federal Reserve.
We're just here to figure out what is happening with Charlie. That's what we're trying to figure out.
And he's doing interviews now, so he has a chance to speak for himself. And
but they're taken out of context.
Look, we're not comparing him to Gaddafi.
You haven't seen him.
Oh, they've been comparing him to Gaddafi.
Look, I was just saying, I don't think I
Let's
haven't
compare
heard
George Bush, $1 million Iraqis, to Gaddafi. Torture, secret arrest, America's turning into a police state.
We're asking you about your friends.
I think we were here to talk about Charlie Sheen. I'm not trying to cut you off.
Charlie says you have a right to kill him, but not to judge him, as Colonel Kurtz said.
Thank you. You are certainly a wonderful friend.
And helping him.
Boy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Charlie, stay clean. We love you. And everybody else out there, stay clean. Don't use drugs. Infowars.com.
That's a good message. Okay.
Infowars.com.
All right, when we come back, our series.
Infowars.com. Okay, that is Alex Jones using the media tool for what it's there for, to interject real issues. There's over 30 million viewers on The View. You've seen a lot of really influential people go on there, even though they just cover celebrity news. You've got all these people trapped in that false world of celebrity news. Petty issues of who's dating who and who went where. And Alex directly took it on and tried to interject, bring people back to the real issues: torture, secret arrest. He mentioned that over 1 million dead Iraqis. He mentioned that Building 7 was collapsed. He mentioned how TSA is sticking their hands down people's pants. He's mentioned how over $23.7 trillion have been looted and stolen through this whole derivative scam. He mentioned how Charlie is being compared with Gaddafi. And here we have petty celebrity issues, and, we don't know what's going on with Charlie Sheen, but we wish him well. It's his personal life. And then we have real issues going on in the world, Gaddafi and the rest of it, and somehow Charlie is supposed to be of equal weight, but that's just the cycle of celebrity news. That's the way it goes. But I thought Alex did an amazing job of really trying to bring people back around to what's really important in this world, albeit on a celebrity show that covers these kind of topics day in and day out. Alex is waiting in the wings. He's been under a siege of media blitz. He's been on all kinds of stations, including The View, ABC's View, with more than 30 million viewers this morning. Alex, tell us what's happening with this media storm and the other issues you want to cover.
Well, I completely dominated all the View hosts, as you saw, shut them down, dominated it. I talked to the head producer. He said they've never been shut down like that, but they have instant rating numbers coming in. They said it was off the charts. They were super excited about it. And, of course, the crowd, the in-studio audience, love hearing about Building 7 being blown up and how the government did it. They love hearing about TSA attacking the American people and our slave training. They love, hearing about George W. Bush being a war criminal. They love me going after Hasselhoff. Barbara Walters almost had a heart attack. By the end of it, she was so mad. I thought she was going to have a heart attack. So certainly, again, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. I was completely blindsided by Charlie, but I know why Charlie's so upset. They keep putting out these vanity cards while he was away getting better, getting clean, saying, he's dead inside. Chuck Lorre's going to outlive him. There's a whole bunch of these things. And it's basically, I think, a way to get him to quit, so they don't have to pay him all these tens of millions of dollars that are coming out of the syndication. And so Charlie is somebody who's coming off addiction after years being clean. He's detoxing right now. He's very manic. And I know he interviewed 2020 and NBC. They did hours and hours of interviews, and he gets sick of being judged. And so he just basically makes a joke about it all. But, he knows it's not good, and he's trying to change his life. But my issue on the show was, Charlie's been my friend, so he got Courage for 9/11 Truth. I got him on the show to dispel rumors that weren't true. I got him on the show to talk about the fact that I'd seen him blood tested, urine tested, and he was clean. He's now done that
for mainstream news. They've tested it. He's totally clean. And then he kind of went off on a tangent on other issues because he'd had a fight with his ex-wife the night before. So this isn't even about Charlie Sheen or Alex Jones. It's about the information, and it's the greatest example I know of culture jamming, whereas they would just be talking about all this. Instead, they're hearing information about the New World Order, about 9/11. These are all these housewives and people. When we came in this morning and saw the line to go to the View, it was about 98% women. These are people who've never been exposed to these real issues, who are now actually being exposed to it. So God is certainly turning this overall into a very serious blessing with us being able to reach out to so many people and awaken them to real issues. So we're very, very thankful, because I was completely blindsided about what happened last Thursday, because I never heard Charlie like that. But again, he's in a very fired up, manic phase. He's tired of apologizing to people. He's tired of being demonized. And here's a guy turning down what could potentially be about $100 million of syndication in next season as well, just in his boss's face. But when I got on the airplane to fly here Sunday to New York City, a few people knew who I was on the plane, but other people were going, winning, like a professional football player in front of me. The head of one of the biggest banks in the country was there. I had like a 3-hour argument with him about the New World Order as we were flying to New York. And so the point is, it's kind of like Chuck Norris facts. Chuck Norris, when he does a push-up, he doesn't move, the earth does. Now there's all these Charlie Sheen-type Chuck Norris-isms tied into the whole anti-New World Order movement. And so what Charlie did was, he took people's criticism of drugs and alcohol, people's criticism, claiming he's a warlock Easter bunny who works for Toucan Sam. He made a joke out of that. He took all of that and threw it right back in people's faces. And I apologize for some of it. It was shocking. It was shocking for me as well. But again, in the end, it's turning towards something good. And that's what's exciting about all this. As the whole world melts down into world government, as the DNA testing...
We'll be right back, Alex. We're hitting that break, and we're going to be on the other side. We do have Alex right here. I'm Aaron Dykes sitting in, and we're going to finish up with Alex, what he saw on The View this morning, and everything else. I've got at least a few reports. We've seen some blogs trying to attack you and Charlie, Alex, but the comments themselves are almost exclusively positive, defending Alex Jones InfoWars. So hopefully this was an important impact.
I mean, it's the same thing with Hollywood Reporter and all these other big publications that attacked me and lied about me and, did all these things. That almost every comment is for us. So again, this is culture jamming, inserting into mindless celebrity fluff. And Charlie's even said that privately. Real issues. I didn't know the day he was going on that he was going to throw the gauntlet down in front of his bosses, or was going to be that over the top, but he did it for a reason, because he's basically on a mission declaring war on these people. And I just hope that everything gets worked out between them. But regardless, we are here now having, again, another major effect, breaking into the Matrix brainwashing transmission with real information. Where would you hear about Building 7 being an inside job?
Apparently Rumsfeld himself hasn't even heard about that.
Yeah, exactly. Where would you hear about $23.7 trillion missing from the foreign banks still on the private Federal Reserve? Where would you hear about 1 million dead Iraqis? Where would you hear about the TSA putting their hands on people's pants? I mean, I jammed it in there to an audience who would never hear about that. I've got a couple other big national TV interviews coming up where I'm going to do the same thing. Unfortunately, they're taped, they're not live, but I'll do my best to just basically cover nothing but, anti-New World Order information and break in on this transmission. I had no intention for any of this to happen. I thought Charlie was going on about, being clean and talking about the New World Order, but the bottom line is people love to judge Charlie, who certainly know, Angel, but 35 years of him being a big star, they only focus in on the lapses he's had and the problems he's had. I know him as a good guy. That's my friend. I had him on. He did an extreme interview I wasn't expecting, and I can't, make apologies for that. But bottom line, we've had a huge effect. The first Media Matters, 4 or 5 days ago says, how dare the media not point out he's a conspiracy theorist. Then I start going on the air talking about real issues, and they say, oh my gosh, media, don't have him on, don't have him on. In fact, I was going to go on Oberman, whoever the new guy is that does the show. I was going to go on that slot on MSNBC. The Media Matters made phone calls and killed that. I've separately, while I've been here, had Glenn Beck doing his normal blocking me from getting on Fox, which is fine. I could care less. So it's just a continued circus as they continue to attempt to keep me off of the air. But they can't stop the signal. They can't stop our radio listeners. They can't stop all the great info warriors, and we are change people out there that are taking action like yourself, Aaron. So I just salute everybody out there who's been battling the globalists, and Lord willing, I'll be back in studio live tomorrow. Coming up, Catherine Ross, Fed's key intel on what's happening on the economy. We'll continue to stay focused on the issues here from the heart of the beast, New World Order capital, New York City, New York.
That's right, Alex. And as far as Sheen himself, he's always been controversial. He's always had a microscope on his life. But he boldly came out for 9/11 5 years ago, and he knew they were going to attack him. They've been waiting to attack him. They've threatened him on air, and he did it anyway. And
it'll be 6 years, and it'll be 6 years in April. Of course, I was talking to him before that. Look, the point is, he's my friend. He's not perfect, and he's certainly come off a bunch of drugs and alcohol. He's in a pretty wild, manic mode right now, quitting everything cold turkey. But again, bottom line, we're turning this situation into a blessing to get the word out. We couldn't do it without you, Aaron, and the entire crew. I'm going to let you wrap up this segment and just say great job to the crew and all of our AM/FM affiliate sponsors. Everybody, Alex Jones signing off from New York City, Times Square. We are in the face of the beast. The answer to 1984 is 1776.